So guys, this is part 2 of my last video for top rare champions in every faction, so let's continue. Next faction on our list is Ogre Tribes. Ogre Tribes actually only one rare. You should definitely save this rare. Beowulf. All his 3 abilities are attacks all enemies. The first, the A1, has a 30% chance of placing a block active skill. A2, 75% after booking of decreasing the speed, and attack all enemies has a 75% boost to a 100% chance of placing a decreased attack and a decreased defense. All the lesser versions, but let me show you something. You can actually build him with a stun set again, all AoE attacks, so of course a stun set is really good on him. Beowulf, you can use this blessing if you got some stars on him, some awakening. Whenever this champion applies all of these lesser versions of debuffs, this blessing converts these debuffs to a bigger ones. So actually, if you can have a 6-star blessing on him, that's a 60% chance of greater versions of debuffs. Amazing. Okay, enough of Beowulf, let's continue with the Lizard Man.
Wait up! If you ever wanted to start Raid the right way, this is it. Click on my link in the description right now to get Elenaril for free and 3 more insane epics as you level up. Here's exactly what you need to do. Log out of Prayer on Prey on your PC and uninstall it. Click on my link below and sign up with a brand new email. Launch Raid and complete the tutorial. Open your inbox and boom! Your first champion is waiting! You'll get Elenaril right away and then unlock Vergis, Tagoar and Deacon Armstrong as you level up. Plus, use promo code DESERTQUEEN for a void legendary Tuhanarak. That's 5 champions to carry your account, so smash that link and let's dominate this game together!
In the Lizard Man, there are some champions actually. The first one is Max Stalker. So, Max Stalker A1, okay, 30% chance of placing a block buffs debuff on the target. Books out to a 40% chance. If you don't have a block buff, you can use him. The only reason I included Max Stalker here is his A2 ability. Books out to a 2-turn cooldown and sleeping the target. There is no chance, not just places asleep on the target. Where you can use it? You can use him in the Sun Devil. I mean, put him with accuracy gear, use him in the Sun Devil. I really don't know if affinity is a deal breaker for him. There must be tests. You can find this information somewhere, I suppose. But if you don't have a good sleeping champion, you can use him definitely. And he puts a continuous heal buff on this champion for 2 turns if incoming damage exceeds 20% HP on one attack. So yeah. The next champion on our list is Metal Shaper. And he has a really special role actually. Pretty much it reminds me of Max Stalker. He's A2. Books to a 2-turn cooldown again. 2-turn cooldown, guys. Places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. Where do you need this shield? You need this shield in the Scarab King boss, in the Doom Tower. You put him as your fastest champion on the team and he will have this shield on your team all of the time. 2-turn cooldown. Remember that, 2-turn. Then you can put your Cold Hearts, your Army Girl for the decreased turn meter, some champion for a decreased speed debuff on the boss, and you will do the Scarab King. Okay, next on the list are Skinwalkers. In the Skinwalkers, actually pretty good champions from the rares. Gravekeeper. A1 provoke, boosts to a 75% chance of provoking. Amazing. For the faction wars, even for crowd control, amazing. But he has even more abilities. Let's check them out. Attacks all enemies, books out to a 40% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Again, crowd control. His A3 is not actually pretty good. He puts a counter attack on him. He synergizes really good actually, A3 with his A1, so there is that 4-turn cooldown. Next on the list is Fleshmonger. This guy here, yeah, a pretty face, but increased attack and increased critical buff on this champion and grants an extra turn. and you will use him for this. 50% chance after booking to a 75% chance of placing a big decreased defense debuff on all allies, on all enemies. So if you don't have an AoE decreased defense, even for your faction wars, you can use him. And actually attack one enemy 3 times. Remember Fire Knight, guys? The Fire Knight shield, you can use him there as well. Next one, Gnawhorn. I really like Gnawhorn. He actually helped me finish faction wars normal way back in the past. His A1 damage increases according to... Okay, actually his A1 not so good. But A2 ability places, just places. No hitting, no nothing. So it doesn't matter the affinity. He will place this provoke on a 3-turn cooldown. Places a provoke debuff on all enemies for 1 turn and places a 30% increase defense buff on these champions. So he puts a buff on himself. And his A3 ability places an unkillable buff on this champion on a 3-turn cooldown. If you build him fast enough, uses his A3 ability, then you rotate on his A2 ability, he will not die and he will put this provoke on all enemies and he will crowd control the enemies. So please try to remember this champion, don't feed him right away. He will help you in faction wars, he will help you even in Doom Tower, in the Cursed City. Please do not feed him. Okay, last champion in the Skinwalkers is Pantera. Yeah, not so popular champion, I know. But attack one enemy 3 times. Each critical hit has a 50% chance of decreasing the target's turn meter by 3%. Books out to 75%. Fire Knight, guys. This ability screams Fire Knight. His A2, attack one enemy 2 times, again Fire Knight, and books out to a 100% chance of placing a big heal reduction debuff. If you don't know, if you cannot keep the turn meter down on the Fire Knight, after he slams with his big ability, he heals himself. So if you put heal reduction on him, you will make your life really easy. And A3 ability places a perfect veil and a reflect damage buff on this champion for 2 turns. Again, Fire Knight. Yes, it's not reflect damage on all of your allies, but every bit helps. Every bit. Okay, next on the list is Orcs. For the Orcs, you know that guy, Galek. Yep, Galek, a good damage dealer, a starter champion, everyone knows him. He self-buffs with an increased speed buff. He attacks 4 times at random. Again, you can use him in Fire Knight with this one. A lesser and a big decreased defense debuff. Okay, champion. The next one, I highly recommend. He actually does really interesting stuff with his kit. Is Ironclad. And how he does this? He does that with his passive ability. When healed, will attack all enemies inflicting damage proportional to any surplus heal. Damage inflicted is equal to 50% of any surplus heal. So you put that guy with Apothecary, and when you heal him with Apothecary with a critical heal, he can actually do really good damage. His A2 removes 1 random debuff from all allies, so a cleanse, and places a small increased attack buff on all allies. Just keep in mind, this champion can actually do pretty unique stuff. No other champion can do this stuff, and it's a rare. Okay, next on the list are Demon Spawn. For Demon Spawn, a farmable champion, Diabolus. Everyone knows Diabolus and why she is good. Attack all enemies, places a 30, a big increased speed buff on all allies, and fills the turn meter and decreases the turn meter of all enemies. So Arena, guys, you can use her in Arena. She will do good stuff if you don't have a good increased speed champion. Next on the list is Hellborn Sprite. One of the rares that it is used in the Demon World Infinity team. He can place a small weaken debuff, again good for the damage. His A3 books out to a 3 turn cooldown after booking, increases the duration of all ally buffs by 1 turn, then places a increased critical rate buff on all allies. So you can build your team with less critical hit. I'm not recommending that, but you can do that. And build the Infinity Shield team for the clan boss. Okay, and last but not least on this faction is Felhound, my favorite campaign farmer. Why is that? He has the fastest animation for his abilities on all Raid Shadow Legends. His A1 animation is so fast, he can do 6-second farms, 12-3 brutal in the campaign. He scales with the defense and attack, so it's pretty easy to build him. He doesn't weak hit because he is a void rare champion. If you get him, build him in some time. He will be really good in your campaign farms. Okay, next on our list is Undead Horde. For the Undead, my favorite girl, when I put her, I was so happy because she transformed my clan boss team through the roof. And why is that? A3 poison sensitivity and A1 attack one enemy 2 times, each hit has a book to a 100% chance of placing a 5% poison debuff 2 turns if the target is under poison sensitivity debuff. If you have a counter attack champion, she will do amazing. If you don't have it, build her in a counter attack gear. Next champion will be maybe a surprise for you, Doomscreech. If you know, Doomscreech can actually be your turn meter booster, but with a twist. His A2 ability fills the turn meter of all allies by 30%. Actually, 30% is really big, guys, because Arbiter has the same ability, but it is not increased attack buff, it is the big increased defense buff. So if your damage dealer is a defense nuker, you can use your Doomscreech as a turn meter booster, then your debuffer and your nuker. Amazing champion. Amazing. Next on the list is Seducer. Seducer has a sleep debuff on his A1 and an AoE decrease attack debuff. He has on his A3 increased defense and 2 turn block debuff buffs on all allies on a 4 turn cooldown. If you don't have a block debuff, use Seducer, guys. So almost to the finish, guys. Yeah, it's a long video, sorry. We're gonna speed things up. Kale, we all know who is Kale, the starter champion, the go-to starter champion, 4 times hitter with poisons, an AoE attack, an A1 with poison again, so you know him. Another rare to consider is Spirit Horse. Why is that? Places an increased attack buff on all allies, so again you can use her in arena, and removes all debuffs on all allies and places a block debuff buff on all allies for 1 turn. So cleanse and a block debuff buff. Next one on the list is none other than Coldheart. If you don't know her, you should. Save 3 copies of her, you will use all 3 of them. I guarantee it. This ability. Attack one enemy decreases the target turn meter by 100%. So remember, 100% decrease the turn meter, not a full decrease. And enemy max HP attack. She will smack, she will smack Spider, she will smack every dungeon boss. Even in Doom Tower, even the clan boss if you don't have any damage dealer. Her A1 is a 4 times attack at random with a big heal reduction debuff. Again, Fire Knight, her A2 attacks all enemies, decrease accuracy and places actually a poison debuff. Amazing champion. Maybe one of the greatest rares in all of Raid Shadow Legends. And she is a void champion, so no weak hits. And last, Painkeeper. For this ability, decreases the cooldown of all ally skills by 1 turn. Save 2 copies of her. I use her, even 3 copies. I used her in my Iron Twins not so long time ago, before I got my Marius. You can use her in a clan boss in the Demon Ward teams for an unkillable team. Remember, save Painkeeper. Okay, next on the list is Knights Revenants. The one thing you should remember is Renegade. Decrease the cooldown of all ally skills by 2 turns. If you don't have a Kaimar, if you don't have a Yumiko, this champion will decrease the cooldown of your allies and you will be able to use your abilities much sooner. You can use her for seer teams to wipe out the dungeon enemies. In Dwarves, yeah, dwarves have pretty good rares actually. Aver, a poison debuffer on his A1. On his A2 attack, all enemies has a 50% chance of a small decrease attack and a small decrease speed. And his A3 ability is a turn meter fuel with a heal. Okay, next on the list is Master Butcher. His only use is in a Bomo team, the Bomo boss in Doom Tower. Because of this ability, when attacked, heals all allies equal to the amount of damage taken. When these bombs explode, he will help you heal out your team. Yes, he will not help you that much in the later stages, but if you struggle and you don't have any options, use Master Butcher. Next on the list is this guy. A decreased speed champion, A2, attacks all enemy 2 times, places a decreased accuracy and a decreased defense. Each hit has a 40% books out to a 65% chance of placing a bit decreased debuff. And this boy here, Kurzat Deep Heart. A1, again decreased speed, A2, attacks all enemy. Each critical hit fills this champion's turn meter by 7.5%, so good damage dealer. And increase accuracy, one of the first champions actually to have this buff back in the time. And 100% chance of placing a decrease defense buff. So an AoE increase accuracy and AoE decrease defense debuff champion. Okay, Shadowkin. For the Shadowkin, not so good rares actually. You have your assassin, a poison debuffer for clan boss if you want him, or even in the dragon. 50% chance of increasing the duration of all enemy buffs, so debuffs. So a debuff extender, kind of, you can use him if you don't have any. And 100% chance of placing a small weakened debuff. And speed in all battles temple. So pretty basic, but it is what it is. Vagabond, a support champion, placing sleep debuff, placing walk buff debuff, and also fill this champion turn meter. And turn meter fill for all allies. If you don't have any turn meter increase, you can use him. And by the way, he increases attack, so in arena it's good. Don't build him 6 star, you can use him 4 star, at most 5 star. And next and last faction is Sylvan Watchers. The newest faction in Raid Shadow Legends. The first one is Tholin. Attack one enemy 2 times, each hit has 25% chance, books out to a 40% chance, pretty much good for a stun debuff. Attack all enemies, places a 100% chance of placing a decreased speed, so an AoE decreased speed debuff champion and an AoE increased accuracy buff on all champions. And by the way, teams up with a random ally, so you can use him in Fire Knight. Not so great champion, but it will do some job. And his passive has a 50% chance of granting an extra turn when this champion places a decreased speed debuff on 3 or more enemies with his A2 ability. And next one is this guy, Ingrid Twiststaff. An OK A1 decreases the defense. His A2 ability, AoE attack, fills this champion's turn meter by 5% for each leech debuff on all enemies. And where his leech debuff is, in his A3 ability. Attacks all enemies before attacking, places an increased accuracy buff on all allies, has a 75% after bulking, placing a leech debuff. So if you don't have a leech champion, use him. You can use him in every content, in every boss. That is Doom Tower, that is Chimera, that is Hydra, that is Demon Lord. Use him as your leech champion. And last, 3 shield, not 3 attacker on his A1 and decreases attack, a healer and a buffer and a great reviver. Revives 2 random allies, 20% HP and a 25% turn meter, and he places a shield buff on all allies. actually a really good rare reviver. Okay, this was a long video guys, so I'm not going to hold you anymore. If you like this content, please consider subscribing. You will help my channel really much, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.